These are optical delusions like ghosts, so it's
Oh, I forgot about that. Oh, I should mute.
Hello, yo! Son of a bitch, what do you call this, Wawa?
Actually, I think you'd call it a Neanderthal man.
Yeah, well, I don't care what country he's from. One shot in the chones and he's down.
Mr. Latello, Mr. Harlan, this is Sergeant Jones. What's your name?
Ah, tax dollars at work.
Look, Detective Nolte.
Hi, Mom.
Oh, you little cockroach.
Hey, what's the matter? I got boogers? Huh?
Hey, kid. Why do you wear sunglasses at night?
Because when you're cool, the sun shines on you 24 hours a day. Oh, yeah? Chill out, Butch. And get a shave. The kiss moment. Hey. Where you going? I'm coming. But if I'm gonna wind up in another dimension like Barbarino, I'm going in there packing. Good luck! Oh, no. This is no time to be sitting around sucking snot. After you, lunch meat. Oh, no! We'll never come back! Uh-oh.
The most outrageous science fiction comedy of the summer is here.
What do you call this, Wawa?
My Science Project.
Hey, I seen lights like this at Ozzy Osbourne concert. What's he saying?
He's going to kick our...
What are we gonna do?
About 1 to 5 with good behavior.
It's totally out of control. My Science Project.
Think of the fun.
Rated PG. Now playing in a theater near you.
You're listening to Moviesucktastic.
Dude. Whoa, dude, no! Oh!
What's up?
Hello.
Happy Hanukkah, bitches.
Kwanzaa, Murray, whatever that equivalent is. Yes.
Happy Kwanzaa.
Happy War on Christmas.
Oh, yeah. The war is real.
Mm-hmm.
If we were in an alternate reality.
It's great. Actually, we haven't actually had a podcast since before Thanksgiving. And I know, like, I was actually in a grocery store the weekend before Thanksgiving, and someone had said to the cashier, "Have a happy Thanksgiving," and I said, "That's Merry Thanksgiving, motherfucker."
That you did? You blurted that out?
Yeah, put the Christ back in Thanksgiving, bitch.
And did you get a quizzical look, like
I don't know. I'm
children
so used to
back
them.
away from that man?
I'm so used to them, I don't even notice anymore.
The George W.H. Bush passed away, and I believe the funeral was near Dallas, which is very close to where you are.
In Houston, yeah.
Oh, I thought it was Dallas. I thought it was Dallas.
No, Houston.
Oh, never mind. I have misinformation.
It's close. I mean, well, not close, but I mean, it's a draw. I could drive to Houston if I wanted to.
Oh, well, yeah. It only take about 2-3 hours.
Maybe 4. But yeah, whatever.
So
yeah.
How has the state of Texas been? I mean, is this something that you're noticing with this day of mourning? No, it's not any different, right?
No. I mean, and let's be. I know we're not doing political stuff here on this show, but let me say, like, when it comes to the whole "don't speak ill of the dead" kind of thing, it's like, all right, I'm not trashing the guy, but we did not put our Texas flag at half mast.
Really?
McCain, yes. Senior, not so much.
Were there other neighbors that did?
I didn't even look. Honestly, the minute you mentioned that, it's the first time ever occurred to me to check other neighbors. I don't care. I'm looking at other neighbors' Christmas decorations. We got a guy on the corner, not next door, but the house after that.
Yeah.
This guy just went fucking insane.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's no excuse for that shit. No. If I lived next door to him, we'd be having a talk. It's like, dude, you need to dial it back a bit because what the fuck?
It's that obnoxious.
Yeah.
Is it like the Clark Griswold house, or is
it's not that bad? But I'll take a picture for you.
Yeah.
I'll get out there someday, but it's too much.
Now Scott's old neighbors back in his old town, they very subtle. They didn't do much, but what they did was, and you could see this around the internet because this Christmas light has been around for a while. But it's a candle. It's an old-timey candle where it has it looks like the one where you put your finger through it and you can walk around with it. Except that the design of this candle looks like a dick.
Yeah.
And they had a bunch of these on their fence. So it looked like they had a bunch of lit-up dicks.
Right. Which was what those neighbors were, ironically. They're a bunch of lit-up dicks.
I was at Scott's house and I texted him a picture of it. I go, is this for real?
Sadly enough, yes.
Yeah.
And unfortunately for me, the people we bought the house from left their Christmas lights.
Oh, really?
Also, unfortunately enough for me, the handyman we hired to take a look at as far as wiring for internet told her that we had Christmas lights in the attic. So, there's a bunch of stuff up there. Christmas lights. Oh, fuck. So I had to drag them down, and he had enough for every part of the front of the house.
Doesn't mean you have to put all of them up there.
Yeah, yes, it does.
It does?
Apparently, yeah.
Really? Oh, my God.
But that doesn't look too bad. Holly was just so excited this year that we actually have a mantle.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And she was like, I'm going to fucking pimp this shit out. So it's
I have an entire village on top of my mantle.
Yeah, it's our first mantle. So she's just like, she went rustic, but it works perfectly. It looks very nice. Cool. I think she posted it on Facebook, and you might have seen it.
I did. Looks very nice. Mm-hmm. Let her know that I said that.
I will. Okay. I will. But we are not here to talk about Christmas. Fuck Christmas. We are here to talk about one of my favorite 80s sci-fi films.
Oh, there's a picture of her cleavage. That was a shot. The girl. Yeah, it's the one where he goes down into the bunker, and she
Danielle von Zernick.
Yeah, Sawyer. She plays Sawyer, and she's looking down into that hole, and it's just like, it's actually, if this got the Blu-ray, HD treatment, it's a pretty nice cleavage shot there for a Disney movie.
Is it a Disney film?
It's made. See, and I didn't realize this till I rewatched it for this review. It's produced by Touchstone Pictures, which is owned by Disney. It's a Disney movie.
Now, not surprisingly, it's written by the same guy who wrote The Last Starfighter.
Okay. Was that?
And it kind of has that feel to it.
Was that Disney too?
Last Starfighter?
Yeah.
It was like an offshoot. I don't know if it was it wasn't like a pure Disney film.
Take a look at the production company, but this is absolutely a Disney film. Because Touchstone is owned by Disney, and there's tons, like Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Touchstone Pictures. It is absolutely, it's Disney. Disney owns them, so it's, it's like like they were using Buena Vista and they were using Touchstone to make.
Wasn't Disney?
What?
Disney and Universal, aren't they in the same bed or?
No. No, they're not.
Okay, I don't know.
Well, and the reason they're not is because Universal Studios and Disney World in Florida, they're completely separate entities. So, I mean, just based on that knowledge alone, they're separate. But this is a Disney film. Like Buena Vista Pictures and Touchstone, they reserved...
Buena Vista, yeah.
They reserved those production companies for their live action, more... Still for kids, kind of, but more adult-oriented stuff. You know, that's like Something Wicked This Way Comes, you know, movies like that.
Now, I also think it's funny that you did challenge this to me in October.
Yeah.
Or like late October, early November.
Yes.
And also, not only, like, one of the few things on the writer-director's credits is also 2 episodes of Freddy's Nightmares.
Oh. I didn't know that.
I mentioned that like my wife once, like we were, I think it was I got on I started downloading Tales from the Crypt episodes and we watched some of them.
Okay.
And I mentioned that, yeah, they had Freddy's Nightmares. It's like, oh, was that good? It's like, oh God, no. No, it was god awful. It was it was horrible. Wow. And they could only show it like at 11 o'clock at night because they put violence in it, but it was geared towards like young kids. I need to get some of those episodes.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm looking at other movies made by Touchstone. Like movies you wouldn't think that Disney would do, like Armageddon.
Well, that was their
Lincoln.
Yeah, that's their ability to do that is by going through Touchstone.
But then there are movies that you absolutely expect them to do, like The Nightmare Before Christmas, and like movies like this, Ventures in Babysitting.
I remember staying up late to watch Freddy's Nightmares.
Oh yeah,
and just being aghast at how bad it was.
Yep.
I was like, I purposely wanted to see this, and even I am like disappointed. Wow. Yeah, it's almost as bad as I felt when I stayed up late to watch the Rush Limbaugh TV show.
Oh God. Yeah, I remember being disappointed in the Freddy's Nightmares. I remember being more disappointed too because I thought there was going to be more Freddy. I didn't realize he was just going to be your host and narrator. Yeah. I was expecting a lot more.
Yeah. I the only thing I remember is there was one episode where I think somebody's killed by a Zamboni. Or if they weren't killed by a Zamboni, Freddy was riding a Zamboni.
I don't remember that, but
yeah, there was a kill that took place on an ice rink, and I think a Zamboni was either involved or was involved in the Freddy like cutscene.
That I need to have that as a wallpaper somewhere.
I'm working on it.
If you find it, send it my way.
But let's dial it back a bit. So 1985, right? 85.
Yep.
I was 12 years old when this film came out.
Yeah, I was 9.
Right. So watching it now, and I watched it with Holly.
Oh.
And I was like, and I had to explain to her, so yeah, I was 12 when this came out, and that's roughly the age group I think they were aiming for.
Definitely. And this was a Showtime special. Showtime picked this up and they played it they just played it till the reel was worn out, till the tape was just faded.
The basic gimmick of the film is that a high school kid finds a piece of an old UFO, and the piece of the old UFO happens to be like a time travel warp thingy.
Yep.
And so that's really the long and short of the whole movie.
Oh, it really is, and that's really where it starts and ends.
Now, let's be fair, and let's say it right now. Despite the fact that Fisher Stevens is in this film,
right,
and is probably the only character worth watching in the entire film.
Small bits of Dennis Hopper are good.
But yeah, small bits of Dennis Hopper, but even then, it's like
Whatta Rush.
It's like Fisher Stevens like just getting into the game as
Vitello.
As Dennis Hopper's like, yeah, I'm just like making paychecks at this point.
That's right. That Fisher Stevens was like, this was right around Short Circuit time period.
I mentioned that too. I was like, who was he in that? It's like, he was the Indian guy. It's like, that wasn't an actual Indian guy? He's like, no, it wasn't. It's like, that's horrible. So yes, it is.
Yeah, and it was only a year after this movie was made.
And it's probably why you never hear anybody reference Short Circuit anymore.
Except on this show.
It's like specifically because of Fisher Stevens' character.
And then they even did a Short Circuit 2
with
Fisher Stevens.
And
I liked it. It was in New York City. And they even were able to get a couple of fucks in there because of Fisher Stevens throwing the heavy Indian accent.
Oh, yeah.
And I think they actually missed it. I don't think they actually caught it.
And he had, what's his name from The Simpsons? Lenny, of Lenny and Squiggy.
Michael McKean.
Yeah, he's in there, and also at the end, it's I wouldn't
have said The Simpsons. I would have said Spinal Tap.
Well, that too. But I mean, I know he's a part of that and the whole.
Did he do a lot of Simpsons stuff?
I thought he was involved with The Simpsons.
I don't know if he did a lot of Simpsons stuff.
Honestly, I probably sidetracked from Harry Shearer.
Maybe. Well, Harry Shearer had a small part in Short Circuit too, though, didn't he?
I don't know, but he was involved with like Spinal Tap and stuff.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, that's probably where my mind went. So my apologies. I'm on my second strawberry martini. So
how is it?
That could be
good.
It.
Michael McKean. Yep.
He's fucking awesome. But and also that's I forget, we had another film where there was a character in it, and I remember saying, is this character racist? It probably is, but I don't care. And I still feel that way about Short Circuit 1 and 2 as well.
Right.
Like in hindsight, is that character racist? Is the portrayal of the character racist? Yes. Does it make me like the movie any less? No.
I'm with you.
And I wish I could remember the other film we talked about in that regard. But I know. I think it was actually another Indian character. I think it was Peter Sellers in The Party. I think we talked about it.
Yes.
We didn't review the movie, but we talked about it. I was like, yeah, racist? Yes. Does it ruin me? No. I'll still love that. But Fisher Stevens in this, now, despite him not doing an Indian stereotype, this film is built on nothing but fucking stereotypes. This is a stereotype smorgasbord of the 80s. If you want to know what stereotypes were like in the 80s, watch this film.
That's right.
All we have is the jock stereotypes, the car gearhead stereotypes, the greaser stereotype, the geek stereotype, the geeky hot girl who doesn't know she's hot because she wears glasses stereotype, the hippie scientist stereotype, and the redneck cop stereotype. There is nobody in this film that, even the father, like the dumb father, and
Coen brother favorite.
Yeah, but even him and the Avon woman,
right? Stepmom.
This film, there is not a character in this film that is not neck deep in stereotype.
Yeah, all the way down to the sheriff of the town.
All the way down to even the security guard of the junkyard. Yes. There is not.
You kids, get back here.
You really can't point to one character in this film with dialogue that is not just like a cardboard cutout stereotype. It's insane.
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
Yes, but so the basic plot is John Stockwell.
Even John Stockwell's movie career is a stereotype.
Yeah, really.
Like he's actually a successful director at this point. Have you seen a
picture of John Stockwell recently?
Yeah.
That's fucking scary. I hate to say it, but if you bring up John Stockwell on IMDb, the picture they have for his profile, for me, that's like when they pull back the mask and reveal the serial killer at the end. That's the face staring at you.
He looks a little rapey.
That's like, he looks like a little stabby. He looks a little something.
A little rapey, little stabby.
That's just like ha 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 ha.
You see, he's trying to pull off that crooked, smile that he was able to get away with in the 80s.
I think it's all he's got left. I loved him. Now I loved him in Christine, which they reference in this film.
They do. They absolutely do.
And I remember even saying, when I was watching with Holly, she said, "Do I recognize him?" So yeah, he was the jock in Christine. She's like, "Oh yeah, now I know." Yeah, again, that's really his claim to fame.
Now Scott challenged me to the film Legion, and my challenge back to Scott, the connection, was I felt that the lead actor in Legion always had a confused look on his face.
Which lead actor? Not the angel.
No. The dumbass that was in the friend zone the whole movie.
Let me get the actor's name just so we know who we're talking about here.
Yeah,
give me a second.
It was
Paul Bettany.
No,
that's
the other guy.
That's a real actor. Hang on
yes, it was the douche from Alabama, or some shit. Some flyover state. He was the one that was in Sling Blade. The kid that was in Sling.
That Lucas Black.
Lucas Black, yeah.
Lucas Black, yeah. He was in Tokyo Drift.
Yeah, he was in that.
And apparently he's in Fast and the Furious 7. which I don't think I've seen.
Oh dear God, he's in that.
Same character.
Jesus Christ. Well, I mean, it would make sense.
Now, let me say, so as far as Fast and Furious goes,
yeah,
beyond what's his name? Bald guy.
Oh, Jason Statham, Vin Diesel.
Vin Diesel.
Okay.
Beyond Vin Diesel and the guy that got killed in the car crash,
Paul Walker.
That's the end of my knowledge of the entire Fast and the Furious mythos.
That's it, huh?
Yeah, that's it. Like when I see that this actor Lucas Black was in Tokyo Drift and Furious 7, I have no idea what that's about. I
haven't seen any of these films past the second one.
I tried to
we watched bits and pieces at your house. You were just showing me all the fun parts.
Yeah, I wanted to watch the whole jumping through the buildings thing. Yeah. Again, that's the only reason to watch these fucking movies now, because they're just insane.
They make like $300-400 million in China.
You know what? Good for them.
That's crazy.
Good for them, because they,
I'm sorry, I don't want to interrupt you, but I have to get this out. Not the most recent Fast and Furious, but the one before that, the one that still had Paul Walker in it.
Yeah.
In China.
One that he died while filming.
Right. In China, it had $184 million opening weekend, which is absurd.
You know, I am so beyond this snobby, it's just big explosion stuff, like the whole shit they pull on Transformers guy Richard Bay and other shit. It's like, dude, Michael Bay. Sorry,
Richard Bay was the talk show host. Right. That was on Channel 9.
I'm so beyond that now. Where it's just explosions and shit. You know what? Fuck you. Yeah, it's explosion shit. You know why? Because sometimes people want to see explosions and shit. All right, I may turn my nose up to Jurassic World, but I know why it made so much money. Because there are still people that want to see dinosaurs and still want to cry a little when they get burn and shit like that.
They burn.
And, it's fucking entertainment. It's not an IQ test. Calm the fuck down.
That's it. That's all it is.
Yeah. So, but
the movies that want to test your IQ and your dramatic level and all that, they come out around November, December.
Yeah, you know what? I like those too.
Yeah.
But just
we're gonna have some good ones to review this year, I think.
Oh yeah.
Have you seen the trailer for Vice?
No, I don't know what that is.
That's the Dick Cheney story, directed by Adam McKay, the guy that did The Big Short.
Dick Cheney story?
And Christian Bale gained a shit ton of weight to become Dick Cheney.
Hang on, I gotta let my stupid cat out of the fucking office.
Okay.
You go ahead and talk about that for a second.
I'm gonna talk about that for a minute. So, Christian Bale, true method actor from beginning to end. He gains a ton of weight to play Dick Cheney in the film Vice. It's directed by Adam McKay, he's the guy that directed the Big Short, which the Academy just fell bonkers for. But he's also most famously known for directing the Ricky Bobby films and Anchorman movies, mostly comedies, but he's also a very good director for serious stuff like The Big Short. So that was an excellent film. Yes. So his new film is called Vice, and it's about George Bush asking Dick Cheney to be his vice president, and it basically, the trailer opens with Christian Bale as Dick Cheney, who looks exactly fucking like him.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, or just hand him the Oscar now.
Holy shit.
You got to watch this trailer. It's fucking amazing.
I'm already fucking hooked. I'm in.
So it comes out on Christmas Day.
Oh, by the way,
someone
today told me, hey, Scott, you're in the movies. The Golden Globe nominees came out. What do you think? I was like, I don't give a fuck.
I haven't even looked at the nominations yet.
You know what? You know why? Because they involve TV shows too, and that's just too much nonsense for me. Sorry, don't give a shit.
And the crazy thing is, Christian Bale isn't even going to be. I can guarantee you he's not nominated in the Golden Globes because his film hasn't come out yet. It doesn't come out till Christmas Day.
And I'm kind of done with political films, but all you have to do is say Christian Bale is Dick Cheney, I'm in.
Did you see a picture of him?
Yeah,
it's fucking crazy.
I'm fucking in. I'm in.
That's and the thing is, they use a song by the Killers called "The Man," and the song was written like last year, but the song fits the trailer so well. It sounds like it was written for the trailer. That's how fucking perfect the song is to the trailer, and it just makes me want to watch the movie even more. Because just the music they use is fucking perfect. It's absolutely fucking perfect.
All I was trying to get to with Fast and the Furious, very quickly,
yes,
is that I wanted to get my wife to watch the Fast and the Furious. I don't know which one it is. The one with the Paul Walker's death.
That's
7?
6.
Or is that 6?
That's
6.
number
Okay.
6, yeah.
I said we got to watch this because there's some great action sequences. She has the thing that if we watch a film that's in a series, she has to start at the first.
Oh God!
And she said, if we're watching this, we have to start at the first one. I said, I'm not prepared for that.
Nobody would be.
No. I don't like, and honestly, I don't mind rewatching the first one. I think I even have it with riff tracks. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But I've never seen Tokyo Drift, and I'm not prepared to sit through it.
I said, I stopped at the second one.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just like I'm gone. I'm done at that point. So we've never even attempted that.
It's 7 movies deep. Jesus.
Yeah.
And an 8th film is in production.
Dude, we finally finished the Halloween series this year. Because we started it last year, but we stopped at H2O.
Okay.
We finished it this year.
Wow. That's crazy. Yeah. And they're doing spin-offs of Fast and Furious with The Rock and Jason Statham, which is going to be called Hobbs and Shaw.
I heard about that. At that point, whatever.
I don't think that'll be a $1 billion franchise, but that shit's making $500 million. Easy.
Good for The Rock and Statham. Just do everything you fucking break the money in now.
Oh, you know what I heard today? I know we're reviewing my science project, but since we're talking about it, I know. We could totally go on tangents and not review the film at all.
By the way, Holly just got a new job.
Yes, congratulations to her.
And she starts Monday, which means she'll be listening to the podcast on her commute. So this is the point in the movie where she's like, "Would you fucking review the film you're talking about?" So hi, honey.
Hi.
Now go ahead, Joey.
So apparently he's going to play Jack Burton in the Big Trouble in Little China remake. The Rock.
Statham?
The Rock. No, The Rock.
The Rock.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Now,
I'm not against that.
Well,
correct.
I don't think that movie should be remade. Because I heard a rumor, that they were just going to do a straight-up sequel, and I was like, I'm on board for that. 30 years later, you could get Kurt Russell to still do it. It's like, why not? In my opinion, that would be fucking great. And
it looks like it's just in in pre-production. Negotiations.
Yeah, it's rumored that The Rock will play Jack Burton. And it might be rumored because maybe Kurt Russell isn't interested in a sequel. But I can't imagine he's not interested in that. Come on.
That's a film that I love. But honestly, let's see what you got.
The problem is, I'm afraid that they don't got shit.
Well, then, you know what? Then I'm okay with ignoring that film. Honestly, I don't know. I'm getting a lot softer with remakes these days. I was just talking to somebody today about how I have this love-hate relationship with Tim Burton.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And I said, you know what? I will defend the remake of Willy Wonka.
No.
Dude, I thought it had some valid. I thought it. Johnny Depp, I thought did some decent stuff.
No.
It took more stuff directly from the book.
Don't care.
I will defend it. And I thought everything that took place in Charlie's world and the real world, I thought was closer to the novel, and I thought was more authentic.
No. Make it a challenge one day, and we'll really get into it.
Okay.
And until then, absolutely, 100% fucking no.
I can tell you the exact moment, and actually, The Rock is a perfect example here. The moment I started getting soft on remakes is when they announced a remake of Walking Tall with The Rock.
See,
and I was like, I remember watching it, going, "Yeah, give it to him, whatever." It's not that.
And the thing is, I like Walking Tall, but that's
the remake.
I actually like both, but I like the original. And when I heard they were doing a remake, and I heard it was with The Rock, I'm with you. I'm like, go ahead, do it. It's a really old film. The story is good, but it really does show its age. Sure, it could use a little sprucing up, and I don't feel that Big Trouble in Little China is one of those films that is showing its age. It's an 80s film. You can feel that it's an 80s film, but as far as its overall presentation and its cinematic quality, it's still up there.
I agree with you on that. I do, but
it's like remaking The Thing. Don't do it.
No, there's a difference though. I do recognize that Big Trouble in Little China was like one of your first examples of bringing that kind of crazy Hong Kong action film to America.
Yeah.
And I think that Carpenter was ahead of his time in trying to capture that in an American film.
Yep.
But I'm willing to say, hey, let's see what you got. I'm not saying I'm comfortable with it. I'm saying I'm willing to give them a chance.
My issue with it is, and I get that your stance of show me what you got. I don't know how much they're going to do that's going to make me say it was worth it.
Hey,
I may not dislike the film,
and that's why I asked you who the director was slated, which apparently there's not one right now. Because when I heard
there is
Predator,
no director yet.
When I heard a new Predator film, I was like, oh fuck. And then they said, oh yeah, it's
Shane Black.
Shane Black. I was like, all right, I'll give it a shot.
Written and directed by.
Doesn't guarantee it's good, and I think I actually have a copy of it finally. But
the thing is, again, I've got mixed reviews from people. I've heard people that it's pretty good. I've heard people that it sucked balls.
You know what? Mixed reviews to me means there's something worth watching.
Right.
Hey,
I heard the same thing about Venom.
Dude, have you seen Predators yet?
No.
Shut up then.
I didn't say anything.
No. In all due respect, I'm not starting to.
You're telling me to shut. I didn't say a goddamn thing.
I saw that in a fucking theater.
I wasn't shitting on the Predator remake.
No. I know you weren't. That's why I said. I'm not starting an argument. But
okay, good.
I saw Predators in a fucking theater. I gave that a chance. All right? I paid for giving it a chance. So I understand the risks in saying, let me see what you got.
Yeah.
I still remember Aliens versus Predator when the guys that were making the new one said, oh, yeah, we're going to ignore the first one entirely. We're going to make this like the comic books. It'd be fucking awesome.
Yeah,
it's like, great, let's see this.
We talked about that recently. It was the Spearig brothers.
Yeah, so we're like all in. Like, oh yeah, they recognized the last one was shit, and they mentioned the comic books. This is gonna be great.
Brothers?
This is fucking worse than the last one. How is that possible?
Yeah, and they said not only did they say we were going to ignore everything.
Yeah.
But they actually. Who directed it? Oh, it was the brothers Strauss, not the Spearig brothers. Although they're shitty directors too. But what the brothers Strauss said, and I'm paraphrasing here, but part of what you said is we're going to ignore the first film.
Yeah.
But they elaborated on it and said everything that they did wrong in the first film, we are going to do correctly and get ready for a good movie. Like that, paraphrasing, but they pretty much said everything that was done wrong is corrected.
And you don't get that. You honestly don't get it often where filmmakers say, "Hey, we're doing a sequel, and guess what? The last one was fucking shit." and we're gonna like we're telling you as like filmmakers to fan base that was shit, and we're gonna make you happy that you stood in for the next one. And you and I were like, yeah, let's do this.
I remember talking about it with you, or like maybe they got fucking something.
Yeah, I mean, just that honesty. That that was shit. This is gonna be awesome. And then you go to see it, like, this is fucking worse. How is that possible?
Yeah.
How?
It was really.
I honestly,
bad.
I haven't seen that since that day I saw that. I've never went back. I've seen the first Aliens versus Predator like maybe 3 times.
Right.
I only saw the second one once, and it was that first time. But what the fuck is this? I was promised gold.
Oh my god! I remember the rumors about movies being made went all the way back to Predator 2, when the Predator, after he's gotten a few kills, you see him boiling the skull and polishing it, and he puts it on his trophy wall, and you very clearly see the skeletal remain of an alien, the alien monster. And from that point on, everyone's like, holy shit, we need an Alien vs. Predator movie. Like, when is this shit happening? And it happened like, what, 4 or 5 years later, 6 years later, something like that. That first Alien vs. Predator film came out. No, maybe it was a little longer than that.
You know what? It was also this weird time. It was Aliens as well.
2004. So
you had,
it's like 14 years later.
This is the 90s period where Dark Horse started doing the Aliens comic books and the Predators comic books. And they're the first people to do Aliens versus Predator.
Yeah,
like the video game that came out, it was all based on the comic books that said, yeah, we have these copyrights or whatever.
Even the video games suck dick.
But what I'm saying is it all spawned from Dark Horse comics, and which were very popular.
Oh, yeah.
And the Aliens comics, like they did their own sequel to Aliens, and they did their own like Predator comic books, and they did Aliens versus Predator. They were the ones that did it. And ever since then, it's always been, ever since Aliens and then Dark Horse, it's always been, wow, this is fucking awesome. They did all this shit with this. When's this going to make it to the theaters? And the answer has always been never. Never, ever, ever just go read the comic books.
They've never made a good Alien vs. Predator film.
Let me rephrase that. They've never made an Aliens film or a Predator film or an Aliens vs. Predator film since Aliens or Predator 2 that has been as good as or better than any comic book ever based on the franchise.
That is a very true statement.
Period.
You know what? You nailed it with that one. That is a 100% true statement.
And it blows the mind when you look at
it's like
they took the fucking Walking Dead and turned that into a TV show, and turned into a fucking monster franchise. I still have issue number 1 first printing around here somewhere.
You should sell that. The show is losing its popularity.
I know I really should be selling. I don't know what the fuck my problem is.
Should have sold that 2 years ago. I don't know how much it's worth now, but the show's ratings, because it's saturated now.
I know.
It's losing its popularity. Haven't stopped watching it, but they're already past the halfway mark where they go on hiatus for after the first 8 episodes, and then it's the next 8 episodes. I haven't watched a single episode yet. Not a single one. So, yeah, I think they come back from a hiatus in February. So I got 8 episodes to catch up on. Actually, I have 10 because to be honest, I haven't watched the last 2 episodes from the previous season, the 2 finale.
You know me, I'm not a big fan.
And here's the thing: I went to Scott and I said, "Listen, you need to watch season 6 to the finale to the opening of season 7, because I had told him I think they might have finally." They got this, but because the show, I've always enjoyed the show, but season 6 was so fucking good, and the finale was so fucking good, and the beginning of episode 1, season 7 was so fucking good. I actually went to Scott and I said, I think they may have finally figured out how to write this show and make it great every episode, and that could not be further from the fucking truth. Everything they did up until season 6 that was so great, they fucking just dropped it off completely. Season 7 was not good. I didn't think it was terrible, but it wasn't good. All the way up to season 6, the show it plateaued. It's really the best way to explain it. Every season was better than the last. Some of it was slow, but it was always good. And season 7 and 8, and now I believe this is season 9, worse than the last. And they're losing all their ratings too. I mean, big time.
So now that we've covered everything from
everything but my science project.
Yeah, let's circle back from my lack of ability to sell a comic book when it could have sold for $1,000. And go back to one of my favorite childhood films, My Science Project.
That's right.
Now, My Science Project is a young adult sci-fi film.
That's right.
And honestly, and I'll say right now, since we're talking about remakes, this film is begging for a fucking remake.
Oh man, I would love it if this film got remade.
So basically, just to break it down real quick, John Stockwell plays this car obsessed hunk, I guess.
Gearhead.
What?
Gearhead.
Gearhead. The Gearhead hunk who has a greaser friend, Fisher Stevens, and then Danielle von Zernick. And what did you say she was?
Sawyer. She plays Ellie Sawyer. She's not really done a lot of stuff. She's actually, like these days, producing stuff.
Okay.
But she's been in a couple of things along the way.
Yeah. 80, I'm a hot girl, but I have glasses and I'm kind of nerdy, so you can't tell.
Right, until she takes off the glasses and loses the retainer.
Right, and she's trying to like get into this guy's pants via like the school newspaper, and then you have a geeky, this geeky nerd who has the hots for her, and all of this is this weird high school love triangle bullshit circle around the fact that they're going to fail their science project if they don't do something awesome, cool. And so he goes into this junkyard and finds this wreckage from an alien ship from the 50s.
Which the film opens up with them finding, and then the president orders to destroy it.
Eisenhower, specifically.
Yeah.
which will please all of the Area 51 nut jobs out there. Eisenhower actually visits the scene and says, yeah, scrap it. And so they find this piece of alien technology, and through bumbling... look, let's hook up a car battery to it. They discover that it can actually create time warps, and then this becomes a problem when it starts running out of control, and they have to fix it.
And there are scenes in the movie that are completely unrealistic, but still fun.
All right, don't start with that.
I mean, come on.
The real unrealistic. All right, here's the problem. I just watched Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah,
Holly.
I haven't seen it yet.
And
I actually haven't seen the first one either.
So here's my problem. This is partly my fault because I've got us into a kind of a thing where we kind of compete against each other when we watch films to point out weird stuff.
Okay.
But so we're watching like the Ant-Man and the Wasp. And it gets to the point where you find out they're in a tiny little shrunk down car on the street.
Yeah.
And Holly says, their wheels can't be going fast enough to go the same speed as the big car. And I just like turned to her, like, so that's your problem with the film. You're okay with them shrinking the car down to matchbox size, but you're arguing about the physics of driving it as fast as it's going. She's like, yeah. It's all right. I'm not going to engage you on that. I like, if you're gonna, there's got to be a point where the line just disappears. That's what I said. Like, you're ruining the magic. Just enjoy it. It's fucking stupid. Let's go.
The car may not be able to reach its top speed of, let's say, it's 150 miles an hour when it's scaled down that tiny. But I'm sure it could keep up with traffic.
I'm sure we could do like mathematical equations about the circumference of the wheel versus like that. I'm sure we could do that. I'm not prepared to do it for a fucking Ant-Man movie. That's where I draw the line.
I got you.
All right, so
I'm on board. Don't worry.
Okay, so this came up as well during this film. So basically, just to speed through it, I guess the ending of the first act, beginning of the second act, is when they bring it to the teacher, and he's like, "Wow, this is great. Let's plug it into the outlets." Boom. and so they go on a mad.
Let's give it power.
Right. So they go on John Stockwell and Fisher Stevens go on a quest to blow up the power lines to prevent this thing from drawing more and more energy. Third act, of course, is when it starts getting more energy because geek.
Here's the thing. Let me stop.
Hold on.
Okay, all right.
I need to finish this thought.
Okay, go for it.
Right. So the third act is they go to the high school, and now it's just like a giant time warp. So they're walking through, and you've got like World War II soldiers, and Cleopatra comes through, and then like centurions come through. And Holly says, how come whenever they have these time things, it's always like soldiers and warriors and Cleopatra coming through, and not just like some guy shopping or just like, somebody like,
some random person.
I was like, because that would be fucking boring. Maybe the aliens are smart enough that they realize that history is only exciting when you involve violence.
That's right.
Maybe you should relax and enjoy the show. I say, so I was like,
what do you call this, Wawa?
But like again, this is where you draw the line. Like you were okay with all of this, like with the alien ship piece that's creating a time warp, and the hippie professor plugs it into the outlets, so now it has enough power to start bringing forth all these different things. And your problem is that Cleopatra made an appearance.
Yeah.
Can we calm down a bit?
You're gonna do everything 220, 220, 221, whatever it takes.
Yeah, I gave up. I gave up any semblance of reality. The third stereotype into the film. It's the 80s.
Who knew an alien artifact just needed 120 volts of power? It's crazy.
And you know what? I think, like, if they did a remake of this, you could even go into, well, maybe this device is specifically meant to bring in, like, different, like, kind of warriors. Maybe this is, like, a kind of, like, well,
that's not what I'm complaining about.
No,
my argument with the power thing is Dennis Hopper plugs it into standard electrical outlet. Like, it has wires, it's got two knobs, almost like it's a positive and a neutral. It's like, okay, probably not, but okay, let's go with it. So he hooks up a battery to it.
Electricity is electricity. I don't care whether it was designed for it or not.
Yeah, but so then he takes the other end, a positive and a neutral, and he plugs it into the outlet. And of course, this thing starts going crazy, sends Dennis Hopper into a time warp, and they're like, we need to stop this thing.
Right.
Instead of just unplugging it. Which they do later, so it's possible to do. So they don't do it there, and their master plan is to go blow up the power towers down at the edge of town.
Hey, I'm okay with this.
And they're racing against it, which that is not how electricity works at all.
Now we are talking hyperspace.
And he has to put the car into turbo, and what's hilarious is the top speed.
Hit the blowers!
I think my Buick Century drove faster at this car's top speed. I think it was like 120.
I kind of feel like
my Century could do 150.
I kind of feel like Gregory Peck in the Guns of Navarone.
I don't care what country he's from. One shot in the chones and he goes down. Fisher Stephen had the best lines. I actually did an opening, like a minute and a half of just Fisher Stephen lines in the movie.
That's the only part of the film that's other than Whatta Rush.
Whatta Rush.
And Dennis Hopper like fucking with the cop at the very end, and they arrest him for no reason whatsoever. By the way,
that's right. He just comes out of the school in a fucking hippie outfit and he gets arrested.
Hey, hippie, you're under arrest. I'm okay with that.
Eat me, pig.
but apart from like those two things, the only like the only parts of this film that I remember and enjoyed was Fisher Stevens. He is the only reason this film is worth watching.
I do like when Dennis Hopper, after he talks to John Stockwell about his project being amazing, he pulls out the nitrogen out of his desk.
Oh yeah,
and he just inhales it, and he's just like, with his mouth, he's like, I'm just like, that is a bold move. Yeah, that's right. It's like, I'll fuck anything that moves. But that, I thought...
Pabst Blue Ribbon, motherfucker.
I just thought that was a pretty bold move. Even for a film that's only rated PG, to have him pull that out and even do that.
But I think that's the thing, too. Again, you have a reference to Christine in the film.
Yeah.
And I think this film was really... Again, the problem with the 80s is that they were making...
3 years earlier, too. Christine was 3 years earlier, too.
Right. But like the problem with the 80s, from being a child that grew up in the 80s, was that they were making films that weren't meant for children, but they were really meant for children.
Yeah.
Again, like DC Cab, shit like that.
Yeah. And another thing about this movie that's so synonymous with the 80s is their knowledge of technology and computers, which they have none. They really had zero. That's why things like plugging it into an electrical outlet is like, yeah, that's a good idea. That's totally feasible. Chasing down power towers, like chasing it down to the point of where they can see it hit every tower. And it's like, okay, we're driving faster than it.
To be fair, it's not electricity. It's alien electricity. So that's different.
Totally different.
Totally different. I don't know how this didn't become a TV show.
Yeah, you would think that it would be an easy transition.
But, I mean, the one thing I really, like, again, watch it, and I don't think I've seen this in, like, a good 10, 15 years.
You know what? Maybe
What?
the reason why I didn't have a TV show is because Weird Science came out the same year as this.
Oh, yeah.
And that did get a TV show.
And that got much more attention than this.
Dude, this came out in August. I actually pulled up the numbers to see what other films came out that summer.
I wonder if they made this because Weird Science was coming out.
Well, Weird Science came out on August 2nd.
When did this
My
come
Science Project came out a week later on the 9th.
I feel like this...
They were a week apart.
I feel like... I feel like they made this film because Weird Science was in production.
Probably.
I mean, I just get that feeling that, like, oh, we have a science film coming out with the high schoolers. We got to make our own version. Now, and oddly enough,
Jim Cotta came out in May of 1985.
It has no bearing on this whatsoever.
No,
so
it
I don't
doesn't.
brought that up. All right.
Well, I'm just looking at the movies that came out that summer.
Follow the flag, sir. Follow the flag. Now, yeah, and you're totally right. And I guess in the battle between these two, Weird Science had more going for it.
I'm looking at the movies that came out that summer, and you know what? It was pushed to August, which is, as for summer goes, is the January of summers. August of this.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's the end of the summer. The studios have nowhere else to put it. They didn't get that May, June, July release, so you have this, like, August, and that's it. So movies that did come out that summer were like The Goonies came out that summer, Return to Oz, even Back to the Future came out that summer. So another time travel movie. So it's like it was definitely saturated that summer. There was no way My Science Project was. Even the TV spot in the trailer, it's like what did it say? It was like the most fun this summer, or the best movie, the most fun you'll have this summer, and because it was at the end of the summer, and they're just trying to do anything to get any kind of revenue and any kind of hype going for My Science Project.
Because when you're cool, the sun shines on you 24 hours a day.
I love that part because then she slams him against the wall, and he's like, "Take it easy there, Butch. Get a shave."
All right, Kojak. And by the way,
Pee-wee's Big
I was going to
Adventure.
get to something else in the film, but I got to mention that, like, when they're again, Holly's watching this against her will, and she's like playing on her phone too. She doesn't give a shit. And this is not the kind of film that you need close attention to anyway.
Real Genius came out 2 days before it as well. So it said Real Genius came out 2 days before My Science Project as well.
The whole science thing.
It was just totally done. It had no shot.
You know what? And the 80s was all about that too. Again, technology, the home computers were being. It was a whole part of the whole zeitgeist. Yeah, I definitely see that. And it also look at it. It was like science fiction to like a new generation.
Yeah, and then 2 weeks after it comes out, Better Off Dead and Teen Wolf.
All right, nothing to do with science fiction.
No, but just competition. It had no chance.
No, it did. It really did. It's like UHF coming out against like India, like major blockbuster films.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, not a fucking chance.
None.
And again, it's not a great film.
No.
Writing is the acting is horrible. The writing is not that great. And it's just not a good film. But again, Fisher Stevens alone saves this movie.
Absolutely.
I got to mention the weirdest part though. Watching with Holly is that the part where the Centurion comes out.
Yeah.
And he says something like "Moratorio es salutamanamos." And like, what did he say? He said he's going to kick our ass, which is in the trailer.
Yes, it is.
And now I knew that he was saying those who are about to die salute thee, because I read the trivia shit online.
Oh, did you?
Right. So we're watching this, and Holly just hears it, and she just goes, "Yeah, to those about to fight, we salute you." I was like, "Where'd you fucking pull that from?" Of course, she has a she's like a CMA. She has a medical background. She knows Latin. It's like
she knows a little Latin.
Yeah, just a little bit. So I was like, where'd that come from? I know. I cheated. I went online. How the fuck do you know that? It's like, I know some shit. I guess you do. All right.
I know that they used V's for U's. I know that. That's as far as my Latin goes.
Yeah, and I'm against that totally. Honestly,
it's weird. We went to the Museum of Natural History recently, and I didn't get into an argument with somebody, but it wasn't an argument. But they were swearing to me that wasn't a thing. I was like, stop it. They use V's for U's all the time. The older the building, the better the chance it'll have a V for a fucking U.
Was it like a stranger that said that to you?
No. It was definitely a family gathering of some sort. and I don't...
That makes much more sense.
It sure does.
In my head, I could just see like a group tour. It was like, what the fuck are you talking about? They always did that. Says, no, they didn't.
I mean, they don't do it anymore, but it's like if you go to a really old fucking building, yeah, they used V. And my argument was, you see it on a lot of municipal buildings and courthouses.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, they don't do that. I'm like, yeah, they do.
Yeah,
they don't all do it. It depends on the age of the building, but you're definitely going to find some fucking V's for U's. Where it says municipal, it's M fucking V.
Grandpa, we'll meet you at the gift shop. Shut the fuck up.
So, and then we go to Museum of Natural History, and I'm like, it's right fucking there. I don't remember who I was talking to about it, but there it is.
Let's rein it back a bit. My science project. Now, as far again, I have a weakness for time travel films.
I'm the same way.
Again, I was 12 when this came out. The trailers were fucking awesome.
Dude,
watching this
this was the greatest movie ever made that summer I saw it.
Yeah, and I didn't see it in the theater, but I did see it on cable the following year, so I was like 13 when I finally got a chance to see it.
It was all over Showtime.
Or video rental. I think video rental.
I think I saw it on Showtime first.
I want to say it was on cable instead of video.
They played it constantly.
When did Pee-wee's Big Adventure come out?
Summer.
Same summer? Okay,
yeah.
That's roughly when we first got a VA.
As a matter of fact, it came out 2 weeks before this.
Because the first two videos we ever rented were Pee-wee's Big Adventure and Teachers.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, that's how I frame it.
Also, National Lampoon's European Vacation came out the same week as Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
That I saw in the theater.
Fucking The Black Cauldron, the Disney film that scared children.
I don't think I saw that in the theater. I'm pretty sure I didn't.
Fright Night. My God, so many movies.
Yeah, but but my science project, again, being that age in the 80s, this film was fucking awesome.
Absolutely.
Again, it's horribly written.
Oh, it's terrible.
The acting is not good, and as I've said repeatedly, all the characters are extreme. You get like softer stereotypes in like teen comedies from that time period.
And the thing is, you could tell they
The
tried.
Breakfast Club didn't have stereotypes this fucking bad.
Also came out this year. Same year, Breakfast Club came out.
I rest my case.
So
I'm saying I'm
trying to remember if that was.
Yeah, the film doesn't even hold a very strong logic. The only thing the film has going for it is the kind of like one crazy night aspect where the majority of the film takes place within a 24-hour time period.
Right. Like
after the first act, everything takes place in one night.
Right, exactly.
And then throwing the weird little things in like when John Stockwell goes home, his father's like, yeah, we got married.
The first time he goes home, and he's like, oh, I'd like you to meet, so and so, and she's
my new friend.
My new friend, yeah. It's like, oh, I didn't expect you home so early. And the next time he comes home, which is obviously only a couple of days later, the next day. Was it the very next day? It's like, we got married. And she's like, I knew we shouldn't have went to Vegas to get married.
Yeah. Well, he said, you're gonna come back and you're gonna be nice to your mother-in-law. It's like,
no, stepmother.
Stepmother, like my stepmother. I was like, what?
Yeah.
and you get it's little things like that make the film interesting.
Right.
And especially what's his name's cop character? Who?
Oh, the dude from The Thing.
Richard Nasser.
Yep.
Yeah. Just a weird ass fucking country, like old school, like, dude, this isn't Texas, is it?
It's California.
California? Yeah, where the fuck did you come from? Oh, it's kind of funny. He's like the hat. It's ridiculous. Again, it was like, okay, we need a cop. We need a stereotype. Texan sheriff. Go for it. It's the writing is ridiculous.
Oh, it's totally ridiculous.
And I'm not anti. Again, I thought the Last Starfighter was good. Now I've never seen Theodore Rex. Don't get me wrong.
Oh boy. I'm waiting with bated breath for when you do give me your challenge, because there's so many different ways you could challenge me with this.
Yeah, and I've narrowed it down.
I mean,
took a while.
like seriously, you could totally go actor challenge. You can go
Dude,
director
I gave it a lot
challenge.
of thought. I gave it a lot of thought.
Oh, good. I mean, you could. There's so many different ways you could challenge me off of this.
Yeah, I mean, but from a time travel perspective, there's not really much. It doesn't play with time travel as much as it plays with, okay, so now we can just bring in people from different time periods.
Yeah, they don't time travel. Time travel comes to them. So that's really the way it is.
The one thing, now, being 45 years old and watching this film now,
yeah,
and not having seen it in like at least a decade, the one thing that caught me off guard, I was like, "That's wow! I never noticed it before." Like the concept of it is when they wander into this like weird like Vietnamese area,
right,
where you got the Viet Cong coming through, and there's like an American soldier, and these high school kids are like, "All right, let's help them out." It's like, what the fuck are you doing? They get guns and shit. They're like, American soldier, we got to get it. And like it's like it's almost, it's like instinctual. The film just does it. They don't make a big deal. And then at the end, like the soldier's like, thanks a lot, man. And he just wanders off.
Right.
He's not like, dude, why am I in a fucking high school?
Right. It's like
because during the Vietnam War, they still had high schools. So this guy knows he's in a fucking high school.
Yeah, right. And
but he was like,
and it's really only maybe 10 years.
Yeah, it's not that far back in time.
Yeah, it's really it's a 10-year swing. Shit doesn't look too different 10 years later.
And he's like, "Thanks, man. I'm gonna go back here." It's like he's acting like the Roman soldiers. Like, I don't understand what this is. Is a big Hulk.
Yeah, maybe if they were sitting down and playing Nintendo, he'd be like, "What the fuck is that?" But that's really where it would end.
Yeah, that's like, yeah, like all the other ones are like medieval times.
Hell,
or like
even if he stepped out onto the street, a lot of the cars wouldn't be very different, and it would probably be from the 70s too.
But out of all the people that like you got this Vietnam soldier, pilot who's like, yeah, thanks a lot, man. And then it's like, I'm gonna go do my thing now. You guys go do your thing. Now, how the fuck did I get here?
Yeah.
I understand why the future road warriors or the Neanderthals or the Centurion didn't understand, but this guy fucking knows he's not in the right time period. Come on. It's very fucking bizarre.
Yeah.
And that was the part where I hit where I was like, yeah, this needs a fucking remake.
I would be even if they didn't bring too much new to the table, it would just be better.
But they would.
Oh, I know they would.
They would.
Because one of the things that I liked about this film that I took away from it is how well I thought it was, not directed, but I guess the way it was cinematically, the cinematography was done. I thought it was actually done very well. I didn't think that it looked cheap.
It doesn't look like a Roger Corman film. No.
Yeah, it didn't feel cheap. I mean, some of the stop motion stuff with the T-Rex, I mean, that's the sign of the time. That's what they had budget wise.
Yeah.
But
even that wasn't too bad.
No, but for the most part, just the way the camera panned the screen and the way they, like that opening shot of them going into the army base, it was done really well. Mm-hmm. And then the shot of him driving to the army base to try and find a project. Also, the wide angle shot that they used was done very tastefully. I never at any point did I think that it looked like crap, like a lot of low budget films from the 80s can look like.
There are some dated special effects, but that's roughly it.
Well, I mean, like all the special effects, like the electricity, it's all animated.
Yeah.
Because to be honest, it looks better than if they tried to do something else. Mm-hmm. They use a lot of animation. Hell, the year before, Ghostbusters used the same style of animation for stuff too. It's not like it was anything new. That's just the sign of the time. And Ghostbusters the year before made over $200 million domestically. It was a monster hit. Had very similar special effects. So, yeah, no, it's definitely a sign of the time. And even though it's not a good film, I would still recommend it to anyone that loves 80s stuff and or time travel or both.
Mm-hmm.
I would. Yeah. I was like, it's not a perfect film in any way. It's actually pretty bad. But if you like this kind of stuff, you like 80s films, it's a very forgotten movie, and it's a bit underrated. there's definitely worse films that came out in that time period.
But again, it is very flawed.
Oh, very much.
But only in as much as that it was a product of the 80s, and the 80s was still a very bad time for, again, like Stereotypes. Yeah, we hadn't really gotten out of doing the, again, all the stuff we make fun of now, like, oh yeah, she can't be hot. She's got glasses on, that kind of shit. It's just and like the jocks and the hippie. It's just, it's very. I think it's more of a snapshot of the 80s psyche than a lot of the other films that we still like again, like Real Genius or
like Back to the Future, or
what's the other one you mentioned? Weird Science.
Weird Science.
Because those kind of took like stereotype characters, but then went beyond with them. Where this film kind of took those stereotype characters and kept them.
Definitely.
And maybe that's one of the reasons why this film never, because it didn't have that kind of arc where the stereotypes stopped being stereotypes. The characters had an arc, so to speak, as far as like, nerdy Sherman, becomes more aggressive and But there's no real character arcs.
Probably gets laid soon after that.
He's honestly he's probably the only character that has a real character arc. The closest you get outside of him is the gearhead decided he doesn't mind banging the nerd chick because she is kind of hot. That's it, really. So maybe that's one reason why this film has not survived. I don't know, but just having grown up during that time period, it still appeals to me. And again, fucking Fisher Stevens is fucking awesome.
Yeah, he is. He's great.
He's always been.
What I found interesting was Sherman, the guy that played Sherman. They gave him a fake stomach to make him look like he was a bit like chubby or something.
Yeah, that was weird.
Was kind of weird.
And Fisher Stevens would make comments, "Hey, tubby."
Yeah, like like smack his stomach.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck? It's not good enough. It's not bad enough. It's not good enough that he's nerdy. We have to get a fat guy in here somewhere. I almost feel like maybe that was something in the screenplay where like it was supposed to be a fat character and they just couldn't let it go.
But I don't know.
It's the only thing I can think of.
It was weird because his face obviously doesn't match the fake stomach that they gave him. No,
it was a weird, and they kind of abandoned it halfway through too. It was very weird. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because that was troublesome.
Yeah, I'm with you. It just didn't seem like it was fair. Probably isn't the right word. It just didn't seem like it was necessary. It was like. I mean, if they're trying to push across that kids get bullied in high school, you succeeded, but you could have just stopped at him being a nerd.
All right, it's the '80s. No one gave a fuck.
No one really did.
Yeah, no. It definitely wasn't the goal of that. The only thing I can think of is that it was part of the screenplay, and for some reason they just couldn't let it go.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, that's all because real honestly, nothing else comes of it.
Nothing.
And it's not like there's even a good joke or anything in there.
No, and by the end of the film, that character and Fisher Stevens, they don't become like good friends, but they become accepting of each other.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ!
Yeah, it's like the most minor character arc you can put in a film.
Yeah, exactly. So, have we said our piece?
I think so. Fisher Stevens is the shit.
Yeah, and Dennis Hopper, the little parts that he has are fun too. He's in it very little.
Yeah, but if you want Dennis Hopper like rehashing his hippie shit, watch Flashback with
it's Kiefer Sutherland.
With Kiefer Sutherland, yeah.
Which only came out in 1990, I think.
Yeah,
so it's only like 4 or 5 years after this movie.
Yeah, this is like Dennis Hopper's reboot, where it's like, yeah, I'm just gonna do shit where I'm rehashing stuff from the '60s. Yeah, I think when he comes out of the school at the end, he's actually wearing the outfit from Easy Rider.
If it's not, it's damn close.
Yeah, I feel like it's actually one of the outfits from Easy Rider.
And I don't know if that was already in the script and they got Dennis Hopper to do it, or they wrote it in there for Dennis Hopper. But
I don't know.
Because he does that, I can't imagine anyone else doing that part.
Yeah, and I think
as
some
small
of those,
as it is.
little things like that are what make this film. Just like Dennis Hopper being in it. It's a little nugget in there. It's not by any stretch of the imagination a good film, but I mean from a nostalgia standpoint, it's got its fucking merits.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So what do you want to rate this on IMDb?
All right. So it's currently a perfect 6.0 on 4,700 votes. So it's 6 out of 10. Based on nostalgia alone and me thinking that it's not that bad, I think I'd be okay with a 6.
I'd be okay with a 5.
You want to talk me down to a 5?
Just because the writing is not that good, and the only thing that really saves the film is the core concept and Fisher Stevens.
Okay.
I really feel like it doesn't. I would even say this is more poorly written than The Last Starfighter.
Yeah, probably.
And I think there is stuff that raises it above your average film. I don't think enough to go to a 6. If you feel hard about the 6,
I'm not. I don't feel hard about the 6, but I could go 6.
I love the film, but I feel like sometimes we have to like be realistic about this stuff. And like if we were doing Weird Science right now, what would you want to do with Weird Science?
I'd probably give Weird Science a 7.
Same here.
Yeah.
So if Weird Science is a 7, is this really a 6?
Yeah, probably not.
I really feel again, every now
you're
and
right.
then
It's probably not a 6. I mean, if I was trying to talk it up to a 6, not that I'd be making shit up, but I'd probably be more forgiving than I should be. I can go 7 for Weird Science and possibly even talked into an 8 if enough good points were made. Although 8's, you're talking almost Oscar quality at an 8, so pretty much Oscar quality.
And I think one of the reasons I kept thinking this film needed a remake when I was watching it is because it really, it has a lot of potential, but there's a lot of stuff holding it back, and I really just feel like a 5 is fair enough.
Yeah, and if they remade it and they wanted to keep a small snippet of Dennis Hopper's character, they could probably get Fisher Stevens or John Stockwell to reprise that. They're the right age, so.
Oh Jesus!
Probably Fisher Stevens would be more likely.
Yeah, right.
John Stockwell could be like a very bit part. He could probably play the father of somebody. If
they did a reboot, Fisher Stevens could be in it, but he has to play the character from Short Circuit. What do you mean this is a time machine? I don't know.
I don't understand what's going on. Johnny Five alive? What does that mean?
What is Johnny Five, and why am I in Centurion times fighting this creature? This is a weird time travel thing.
You were really fucked up.
Because when you're cool, the sun shines on you 24 hours a day.
I love that scene because
we are talking hyperspace.
Yeah, I love that scene because he immediately gets on his tiptoes so that he's taller than her. I don't know if you noticed that, because she comes up to him and she's like mean, and she asks him that question. He immediately like makes himself taller.
Yeah, he's like the only one in the film that. It's almost like he's the only one in the film that embraced the stereotype and tried to elevate it.
Right.
I just feel like it's about like flying lawnmowers and weird kind of shit. Every fucking line of his, every other line of his is like I need this as a ringtone.
And there are scenes in the movie too where he goes to John Stockwell's character. And he's in like the garage part of the high school, and John Stockwell's like working on his car, gets in the car, and Fisher Stevens, he grabs on the side of the door, and they're having this like little short conversation, and then John Stockwell floors it, and Fisher Stevens holding on to the car, and they're actually moving, and it just transitions to the next scene, and it's just a fun scene, and that happens a lot in the movie because Fisher Stevens is involved. So it's just. Without Fisher Stevens, this movie would probably, for me anyway, would be way less than a 5.
How come it's midnight and you haven't turned into a pepperoni pizza? A line which to this day I'm still have a little trouble understanding. I kind of get it more now than I did back then.
Yeah.
I'm still kind of like, I don't get it.
And the one thing that he had in his car that I always to this day flash back to wanting on my the middle finger that just comes up through the back trunk of the car, and it's like, you know what? I wish I had that. I wish I had it because I would use it all the time.
And you know, it's like a weird thing. Like you knew they had to actually like cut a hole in a car and get some guy
like a mechanism
in there to push it up. Because you know they didn't put a machine in there. They probably had somebody in the trunk going.
Yeah, probably.
So it's like
like that would have came in handy today on my traffic ride home because some douchebag honked at me for merging in front of them. It's like, fuck you, we're in traffic. What the fuck do you want?
In case you didn't see it, no, you did see it. Last Friday, I had a woman throwing garbage out of her car at me.
I saw
yeah,
that was a woman. So. Ay. Because you merged in front of her, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah, I had that today minus the garbage. It's just like, fuck you. And you know she pulled all that garbage out of the front of her fucking car.
Oh,
because it's probably just a fucking dumpster on wheels.
She pulled up next to me, and the window came down, and out of the corner of my eye, I see her like digging through shit. It's like, what is she doing? It's like just like curiosity. And the next thing I know, like stuff's hitting my windshield. It's like, what is that? A paper napkin? What the fuck is going on here?
Fucking human garbage.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
A lot of that.
So I'm gonna give it a 5.
5 is good.
All right, 5 it is.
All right. So do you want to do the demographics?
I can never get to it on my fucking thing.
You gotta update your browser, man.
No, I'm on Edge, and Edge doesn't have it. That's the problem.
Then you should open up Chrome just for the show.
Because I'm like got 8 fucking things open, dude. I'm multitasking here.
Then you want me to do the demo? It's your thing. You do it better.
I know. Give me a second, and I'll find it. Now you put pressure on me. I'll mention that I do have a challenge for you, and I actually have 2 different challenge options. I'm going to give you a choice.
Okay, I like that.
And I'm not sure. And it's funny because my wife and I were watching James A. Janice. He does the Dead Meat show.
Oh, right.
He just did the Evil Dead series.
Oh, really? Nice.
And he just did the fuck did he just do? Oh, Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, which I have an article.
We reviewed like 50 episodes ago, I think.
Right, and I also have an article published in an anthology on horror films about that film. So I'm like, I have a special kind of interest in that.
Nice.
And I tell you, he nails these films. And my wife said to me at one point, says, you know what you should be doing on Moviesucktastic? I say, what, dear?
What's that?
I say, well, he reviews films that people can find. You guys review this shit from like the 80s and 90s that no one can find anywhere.
Yeah, well.
So people they can't go and watch the stuff you're reviewing, so they don't know it. Where this guy's reviewing stuff that's out on Blu-ray, so they know they can go and see it. So he's got a bigger audience. Also,
he makes money doing this. This is what he does all day.
Oh yeah, but again, it's a fair critique that she gave me.
It is fair,
right? And my excuse was, we don't care. I'm just bringing up my science project on my Chrome app or whatever.
And I'm wondering when we did Silent Night, Deadly Night. Was it last Christmas or the year before?
No,
I know we timed it with Christmas.
It was a while ago.
Yeah, it could. Wow, it could be like 100 episodes ago.
All right, I'm in Chrome and I still don't see the fucking demographics.
It's up at the top.
Yeah.
God, when did we do Saving Christmas?
I have to click that. Okay.
Episode 192.
It's honestly there's like no variation across the board. Everybody in every demographic is between 5.9 and 6.1.
Oh, so it's pretty vanilla.
Yeah, I mean the lowest rating is top 1,000 voters gave it 5.3 because they're special, and the highest demographic was, oddly enough, females 18 to 29, 6.4.
Oh wow.
Yeah, which is only like 0.1 below males, the same age group, so it's not much worth talking about. Most common rating is 6. It's not. It's a horseshoe graphic. There's nothing special about it. Yeah, it wasn't worth the hassle. So with my science project, you have touched on one of my weaknesses.
Time travel.
Which is time travel.
Yep.
I have just weird obsession with time travel films. I have 2 options for you.
2. Okay.
Right. Now, they both involve time travel. One of them is a time travel film I probably haven't watched since I was a kid and it came out.
Oh, God, I found it.
I believe
it's episode 95.
95.
That's when we did Silent Night, Deadly Night. Which, episode 95 was... Holy God, that's a really long time ago. 6 fucking years ago. We did it December 20th, 2012. Dude, it feels like we did it not like last year or the year before. I swear to God, I couldn't even tell you. Anyway, all right. So 2 challenges for me. They're both time travel.
Right.
Do I get some hints?
One of them came out in the early 80s.
Early 80s. Is it Time After Time?
No, not that. The other one, which I'm actually trying to find right now, because there's a lot of stuff with the same title. It's not a very uncommon name. The other one is the only time travel film I've ever seen that I did not like.
Really?
Yes. And that's from 89. So we've got early 80s and late 80s. We have a time travel film that I haven't seen in a while, and a time travel film that, again, probably I like Kate and Leopold. That's how much of a sucker I am for time travel films.
Yes, you do.
Yeah. So it's either the only time travel film I don't like, or one that has a lot of connections to other things we've reviewed in the past. Or possibly could have in the future. I don't know if I want to give you any choice.
So early 80s and late 80s.
Correct.
And I'm running through my head what came out in 89, and I'm drawing without any hints. I'm just, I mean, those are 2 good hints, but I mean,
I'll tell you that both of them played on cable a lot during the 80s.
Well, here's the thing. It's not Time Bandits, is it?
No.
Good, because I would have said no to that.
No, obviously
because
not.
that falls into movies. It's too good a movie to review.
Yeah, I agree.
It would
just, at least for our show.
It would be a disaster.
For our show, it's too good of a movie to review.
Early 80s, though.
I think specifically 82 or 83. 82.
82.
82 and 89. Those are the 2 actual dates.
Jesus Christ. Any extra hints you can give me? And then
I will tell you that both of them star actors that you will recognize their name. That lead actor you'll recognize immediately. One involves time travel to the past. The other involves time travel to the future.
To the future?
Yes. I'm pretty sure that both of these have been mentioned, at least in passing, on previous episodes.
I'm sure they have.
Yes.
Anything else you can give me?
Well, I don't want to give it too much.
Okay. Then I'm gonna have to have you. I'm gonna have to have you reveal them then.
All right. We'll tell you what then.
It's too broad for me saying one goes to the past, one goes to the future. There's so many movies, and none of them are coming to mind. Bad ones, anyway.
All right. One of them you're going to get. The other one you're not going to get.
Okay.
The first one, the 1982 film, involves a motorcycle.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it. I don't remember the name, but I remember the box where it's like a silhouetted motorcycle with like the lines of the highway where it looks like it goes off into infinity?
It's Fred Ward in Time Rider.
That's
the
right.
Adventure of Lyle Swan.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which I've never seen, by the way.
I saw it when I was really young, and I've never revisited it. So,
Okay.
again, 82. I was like 10 when it came on cable. So
that was a movie poster and a VHS box that I saw constantly whenever I went to our video store. It was always there.
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
I love that movie poster.
The next one is more of a, and actually, let me just double check. I'm pretty sure it had a theatrical release, but if it didn't, I'm definitely can't recommend it.
That cover of Time Rider it's like that could be the cover of a video game, and I would have bought it.
Okay, this other one did have a theatrical release. However, while Time Rider you remember as like a video store rental,
that had a theatrical release.
This one
limited, but it did.
Right, but this one also had a limited theatrical release. But this one you will not remember from the video store as much as you'll remember from just being played on cable a lot.
Okay.
And the lead actor for this is Chris Christopherson.
Oh,
you know.
Oh, that's
yeah, you know.
They played it just constantly on cable.
The cover of this, instead of a motorcycle, it's an airplane.
Yeah. It's Slipstream? No, not Slipstream.
No.
That's Mark Hamill, I think. I know it. I watched it a lot. Oh my God, I watched it so much.
Look at that, Mark Hamill, Slipstream. I don't think I ever saw Slipstream.
That's in one of my openings of the show. That one. Yeah, I have a shot from Slipstream in the opening. My opening that I did, that I play once in a while, I have an opening for it, and it's from the movie Slipstream. Is
it like a post-apocalypse movie?
I don't think I've ever seen it, actually.
I recognize the cover, but I don't think I've seen it either. I'll tell you that the other film is called Millennium.
That's right.
Yes. It's the only time travel film I've ever seen, and I'm like, no. No. Not into it.
Not into it.
No.
So those are my choices. My choices are Time Rider and Millennium. Now, I've seen Millennium fucking million times. I think either one would be fun to review.
My personal preference is Time Rider.
Yeah, you know what? I was going to go Time Rider too, because of the fact that I've never seen it. Mm-hmm. And it's got Fred Ward.
Well, Fred Ward, yeah. Not only of Remo Williams' The Adventure Begins, but of Tremors.
Right. And I think...
Cast a Deadly Spell.
The challenge I could come off of Time Rider, just on an actor challenge alone, would be amazing.
Oh, yeah.
But I probably won't do that. But, yeah, no, let's do Time Rider.
I agree with you. Thank you.
Let's do that.
I really don't like Millennium.
Well, I mean, that's the only reason why I would choose it, because it's terrible and you hate it. But, I mean, I've seen it too many times. I've just seen it a lot. It was on Showtime just incessantly.
And the other actor that I always think of when I think of Time Rider besides Fred Ward is Tracy Walter.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. No, I know him.
I mean, Repo Man, Conan.
Yep.
Batman. He's fucking the Joker's sidekick.
Oh, that's right.
What's his name? You're my number one. A guy.
That's exactly what I would have done. Exactly.
And honestly, I always remember him from, there was this really bad TV show back in real early, maybe late 70s, called Best of the West.
Oh, I think I do remember that.
Yeah, and he was the dirty sidekick. And
yeah, he's the dirty sidekick in everything he does, even when he's not playing a dirty sidekick.
Yeah, pretty much. But I'm pretty sure he was in Best of the West. I'm looking it up now just to see if I can find it and confirm that. Yeah, Best of the West. He was Frog. in Best of the West. Which
I never knew this. He's from Jersey, born in Jersey City.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't know he was a Jersey boy.
Yeah, Best of the West lasted 1 season. And I just remember him because the bad guy of Best of the West, who is, damn it, what's his name? He's, like, you recognize him when you see him, but I think he was the bad guy in Pete's Dragon. Leonard Frey.
Oh, was he?
I don't know, but Leonard Frey. Was he in Pete's Dragon? He looks like he belongs in Pete's Dragon. Up in the Academy. No, he was not. But like with the mustache and shit, he should have been.
Oh yeah. Wow, he's been in a lot of shit.
Oh, the desk clerk and Where the Buffalo Roam. There you go. That honestly, the minute you say that, I know exactly what you're talking about. And he looks just like. He reminds me of the guy that played the bad guy in Pete's Dragon. I got to see who that was, because that's bugging me now. Like the main huckster, Passamaquoddy. Jim Dale.
Jim Dale.
No, he was not. That wasn't the bad guy that I'm thinking of.
Oh, that's right. He was in Malone, which I almost challenged you to recently. When I what did I end up challenging you to? I forget, but
I like Malone.
But my
no, and I have the book it's based on. It's called Shotgun.
Yeah, and the reason why I almost challenged you to Malone is when you challenged me to The Nest, my connection was mayors that run the town. And Malone is like, he's not the mayor, but the guy runs the whole fucking town. And he's like, do you run the town? And it's like, no. But yeah, he does.
We could have followed Ben Gazzar right to Roadhouse in that case.
That's right. That's absolutely right. Well, that was also one of my other choices, was Roadhouse, Malone.
Yeah.
I forget what I actually ended up challenging you to. I could probably look it up real quick.
So, I mean, long story short, if you're one of these young punks who grew up past the 80s and have had a stilted life of constant streaming internet childhood, do yourself a favor and seek out My Science Project.
Absolutely.
And fucking enjoy what it was like back then, and then email J.J. Abrams and tell him to reboot that motherfucker.
That's right.
Now, because that's where the future is.
Oh, I remember. I challenged you to Mimic, and it was because of the whole cockroach thing.
You motherfucker! I actually liked going back to that film because I remember I saw that in a theater.
Yeah.
And I just remember like, oh wow, what the fuck happened? And And again, the audio commentary stuff that we covered in that episode with not Benicio del Toro, Guillermo del Toro.
Guillermo.
And all the bullshit he had to deal with Hollywood and Weinstein.
Yep.
Mr. I'll rape you for $1. Like just all the shit that he talked about. It's just fucking. It just like underlines just the insanity. And you know, I feel like I've got a lot of days off during the Christmas and New Year's weekends.
Oh, nice.
I think I'm gonna spend.
I do too.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna spend at least one of them just watching nothing but movies with audio commentary that I haven't watched yet.
I'm off the week of the 17th, all the way to the New Year. I'm off for like 2 weeks.
I have to work the Wednesday and Thursday between Christmas and New Year's, and on-call stuff.
Okay,
so
that's not bad then.
That's not bad at all. No.
I'm actually looking at the calendar. I mean, we'll have a show next week, probably on the 20th, but I think we'll be on hiatus until after that. Because the following week is Christmas, and the following week is New Year's, but Thursday is January 3rd. We should be back on the 3rd.
But the Thursday between Christmas and New Year, there's nothing going on, really, because Christmas is like that Monday.
No, nothing's going on. I mean, we could realistically do a show every week all the way through Christmas.
I'm available that Thursday if you want to record. Honestly, I got nothing going on.
Yeah, well, it really depends because I'm off for the 2 whole weeks, and I know I'm spending time with my kids because they're off too.
You've got little children. I've got like teenage children.
Yeah.
Fuck them. Yeah, it's Christmas. Yeah.
So
my youngest is 19 and she has a job. I don't give a shit.
There you go. So I realistically am available, but you never know. I might not be. So,
well, if you are, I'm available.
Well, if we are, then we're doing a show. But if not, then we can take the 1 week off is what I'm saying.
We can, but we already took 2 weeks off or so.
It's okay.
So, but whatever you want to do.
Yeah. No, we should have a show on the 13th, the 20th, potentially the 27th, and the 3rd all the way through. Because you got to remember, the Oscar nominations are going to be out like a week after that, and then that's what we're focusing on.
And we got to cover January.
We got to do the January.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. There's so many good ones this time. So we always do our January release trailers, and we talk about it.
Yeah.
Which will realistically, we'll probably end up doing the 3rd of January or in that time frame.
Yeah, I really want to dive into January this year.
Yeah,
I'll even try to see
year.
one or two in the theaters if we get a chance.
There's some doozies. Before we end the show, since we talked about January, Hellboy initially had a January release. It was basically, and I always thought it was. I knew it was going to move, but it had a January release date, and it's moved to April now. There is no trailer for this movie yet, and it is going to be out in 4 months.
What is it?
Hellboy.
What?
The reboot of Hellboy.
Oh, yeah.
So, and they have the actor that plays the sheriff in Stranger Things. He's Hellboy.
Okay.
So, and I'm totally fine with that. I think he's a good enough actor to pull it off. But it had a January release, and that scared me because that's not a good thing.
Right.
So when it got moved to April, I was very happy about that. But I read an article very recently that it has test screened extremely poorly. Not it's you can find the article online if you just do a search for Hellboy, test screen. There's a couple that comes up, and they've said that it's people are not enjoying what they're seeing.
Well, you know what we should do? We should just say right now that like the January, once we get to the January 3rd, let's do our first January episode. Let's just call it right now. Let's review Hellboy and Hellboy 2.
We could do that.
I've seen Hellboy 1 numerous times. Hellboy 2 I've never seen.
You've never seen the second one?
No. I've never I've never felt the need to. So between now and January 3rd, I can definitely guarantee I'll watch them both.
Great. We saw that first Hellboy in a theater.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, that was. Mm-hmm. I like that.
I had minor issues with it, but it was fun.
The director's cut is good too. They did a good job with the director's cut. If we're going to review it, let's review the director's cut.
Okay, definitely. I'm not sure if I have.
I think I have it on my Plex. If I don't, I'm going to get it now.
If I have it, I've never watched it.
And as far as the director's cut goes, I don't know what the time difference is, but I thought it was significant.
Gotta be.
Because from what I remember reading, the reason why they were doing it was because it gave it a little... It was... Because Hellboy isn't an R-rated film, but the director's cut gave it a little bit more edge.
Oh, good.
Let's see. Hellboy. Let's see if IMDb even mentions. Yep, it's a 10-minute difference. It's 122 minutes is the theatrical. It's 132 minutes for the director's cut.
All right.
Which, that's significant. 10 minutes. I mean, scenes could last 5 seconds, or they could last longer.
Yeah.
And that does change the tone of the movie.
Oh, definitely.
I have the director's cut, and I have yet to watch it.
If I have it, I haven't watched it. If I don't have it, I'll get it from you.
No, I think we should. If we're going to review it, we should review the director's cut, because we've seen the theatrical 100 times. And
very, 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 very briefly, since we last recorded, I have watched the Happy Time Murders.
I haven't yet.
I've
watched a little bit of Venom, but that's about it.
I was gonna watch Venom, but Holly wasn't into it, so we watched Ant-Man and the Wasp instead.
Okay.
Yeah. That's all I'm gonna say.
That's all you're gonna say.
I'm not gonna elaborate on it.
Yeah, and you know what? IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes, they just bend over backwards for that movie.
Which one?
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna look at it right now.
Hey, it was fun.
Yeah, but you know,
right.
We've talked about this before. Critics have chosen a side. No matter how good DC puts something out, they've chosen a side.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
You know,
yeah,
the Wonder Woman doesn't get panned because it's a strong female lead with a strong female director.
Well,
and I'm not saying it's not a good film.
Right.
But there's no way that film
wasn't a good film.
There's no way that film gets a bad review that year.
Right.
Not with the Me Too movement. I'm not shitting on any of that. I'm just saying critics have chosen a side, and you know, they backed down when it came to Wonder Woman.
Yeah, yeah, and Wonder Woman, I don't think was anything.
I enjoyed it.
It was okay, but it was still a rehash of Captain America.
Sure, it was.
Let's be fair, and great for a strong female lead. All kudos, great. I'm hoping that Captain Marvel does great.
Although the trailer just hit, and have you seen the trailer?
I saw one of them, like the teaser trailer, I think.
Yeah, the new one hit, and now Brie Larson is an Academy Award winning actress. She's a very good actor. The movie that she did, Room, was excellent, and she was excellent.
Yeah, I remember that. We reviewed that.
We reviewed it because it was
Oscar film.
It was a Best Picture. But some of the lines that she delivers in Captain Marvel sound a little weak to me.
I am much more excited about the Shazam film.
Oh my God! I got this gut feeling that it's just going to be a fun movie.
Yeah.
So there's a few lines in the trailer that she delivers. Now I don't know if it's the sound. I can't imagine it's the sound. It's a brand new trailer that just hit, but she delivered in the trailer. There's a line where she says, "I'm not going to join your war. I'm going to end it." But the way she delivers the line is, "I'm not going to join your war. I'm going to end it." It sounded so Valley Girl, and she does it a couple of times in the trailer. "I'm going to end it." It's like, whoa. I don't know. It's just something I noticed. Please watch the trailer and let me know if you feel the same way.
I'm behind on my movie trailers. I think I have to jump up on a bunch of them.
Okay.
I definitely agree. Yeah, I'll have to do my research this week on movie trailers. We'll have to catch up on that.
Just taking a look at what Ant-Man and the Wasp on Rotten Tomatoes got. 88%.
Of course. Happy Time Murders, I think, is like 10%.
It's abysmal.
But
23% on Rotten Tomatoes.
All right, let me tell you, Happy Time Murders. Quick capsule.
Yeah.
Nowhere close to the depravity of Meet the Feebles.
Okay. Oh, I figured that.
But it was fun.
They did some stuff. Okay.
They did some stuff.
Well, we already said that when we talked about Meet the Feebles, when we reviewed it, it just not going to come anywhere near it.
No, and they weren't trying. Happy Time Murders is an obvious PG-13 grab, where they want adult humor, but they want to make sure that they get the young kids in seats.
Right.
And so with that in mind, it was never going to make Meet the Feeble status. And everybody that mentions Avenue Q, please shut the fuck up. It's a totally different. It's not even close. It's a different concept.
We talked about that too, and I watched some of it, and I'm like, this is not good.
It's not great, but it's fun.
Okay.
And the guy that does the voice of the lead character,
right?
I spent like 10 minutes of the film like, all right, who's the actor? Who did the actor get? It's not a fucking name actor. It's a fucking Muppet voice.
It's somebody that's done a voice for Muppets.
It's the guy that did Pepe the Shrimp.
Really?
Or the King Prong. Yeah, that guy. I was like, holy shit, Henson got fucking real Muppet voices in here. That alone takes this film beyond anything else.
And you know what's hilarious? if you look at Rotten Tomatoes and you look at IMDb, Meet the Feebles is in the 80-90 percentile.
Uh-huh.
And I'm not saying it doesn't deserve it, because it is the original, but how come Happy Time Murders isn't anywhere near that? How come it's not even like a 62% fresh?
I don't know. Maybe it's because it's weird. Like, again, my first reaction was, yeah, they're ripping off Meet the Feebles.
Right.
But between the Meet the Feebles diehards and the Avenue Q diehards, maybe like no one wanted to give this film a chance to begin with.
It definitely seemed that way.
And I just...
Because it didn't make any money either.
You know, I'm a bit more defensive on that kind of stuff these days. It's like, dude, you know, like, stop. Like, everybody's so eager to trash on films.
It totally blew apart my prediction. I don't know if you remember over the summer when I challenged it to you. Or actually, it wasn't when I challenged it to you. It was when the trailer hit. I said, meet Happy Time Murders and The Predator. I said, I can totally see Happy Time Murders making some money and The Predator not making as much money as Happy Time Murders. And don't get me wrong, both films didn't do well at the box office, but The Predator did do better, and Happy Time Murders did horrifically bad. Like, they are not making another one bad, which is sad, because if this was halfway decent, it would have been fun to have another one of them.
You know, I just feel like if Netflix had taken it up,
yeah,
and they had done like a Greg the Bunny reboot.
Yeah.
Hey, you know, again, there's something. No, I didn't hear anybody comparing this to Greg the Bunny, but it's like, yeah, you know what? Adult puppets isn't a new fucking thing.
No, not at all.
And
speaking of Netflix, and I know we said we were going to end the show like 15 minutes ago, but we really are going to end it now.
Yes.
Did you hear what Disney's doing? They're starting their own streaming service.
Fuck them. So
they're pulling everything that they own off of Netflix and any other streaming service. So they have taken everything that they've produced or had their anything that they're in bed with. So like Daredevil on Netflix, done. Now they said it's been canceled, but the show is in the top 5 most streamable shows. So it would be really dumb for them to completely cancel Daredevil, and it would be completely smart for them to continue making that show and streaming it on their new service. Like season 4 would be on Disney's service, and it would get people to come over and actually subscribe to it. I won't. But
I think Disney is vastly overrating how much people are willing to subscribe to a whole new separate service just to watch fucking Daredevil.
Here's the thing, too. There are so many streaming services right now, you can't even fucking keep up with them. There's 5 off the top of my head that if you had all 5, you'd be paying probably more than you do for just getting cable. Internet and these 5, you just may as well just get cable.
Mm-hmm.
Like, seriously. You got Netflix and Hulu and Amazon and Sling and PlayStation View. That's just right off the top of my head. That's not everybody.
Yeah, but there's a lot of overlap there.
And then you got you have a DC streaming service now. You have Disney's coming.
DC streaming?
Yeah, that show Titans is their new show that they're. And they have Warner Brothers movies on there because Warner Brothers owns DC. So they just did their own streaming service, and I think you can get comic books on there, like digital ones. You can read them through the service. So it's just, there are so many goddamn streaming services, and they're all $10 to $15 a month. And it's like, you can't fucking keep up. You just can't do it. I mean, I know that's where we're headed. But if everyone is just going to hoard their own shit, then Plex for life, baby. I mean, come on. It's fucking crazy out there. I don't have $150 I can give for all these different streaming services. What, am I fucking crazy? Seriously. But anyway, let's end this.
They're going to do a live action Doom Patrol? Swamp Thing, Doom Patrol,
Oh,
Harley Quinn, Young Justice, Metropolis.
oh, did you also hear
No.
that HBO has ordered 10 episodes for a Watchmen TV show?
Oh, fuck. God.
I believe the Gibbons is overseeing some of it too.
Who?
So Gibbons. Because
Gives a
Alan
shit.
Moore ain't gonna fucking do it.
Yeah, fuck Alan Moore.
So
Sideways.
So I'm actually interested to see what they can do, because it's not they've already said that it's not going to be directly out of the comic. It's going to be in that universe, and it's going to have storylines.
Dude.
But
everything Watchmen that has happened since Zack Snyder's film adaptation, I have not given a shit about. It's like, I'm done.
What else Watchmen happened after Zack Snyder?
They did like the comic books. They did a whole new spin-off, like the
before Watchmen.
Before Watchmen.
Yeah.
And it's like I enough fucking
that I don't care about.
We perfected it. Perfection was achieved. Move the fuck on.
I don't know.
Do another Punisher film. Get it right for a fucking change.
Well,
how about that?
Yeah.
Oh. All right. Yeah, wrap this up, because now I'm annoyed.
I'm annoyed. I thought I was bringing it up and you might be interested in it. Because I got to be honest, I'm interested to see what they might be able to do.
No, I'd rather just go watch the Watchmen movie again. I'll do that right now.
I was actually telling people about it this week, saying to watch the Ultimate Edition. It has the Black Freighter built into it.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, it's long. You got to set aside like 3.5, almost 4 hours. But
it's worth it.
It is the ultimate cut of the movie. I go,
and it still holds up.
Oh, yeah. Zack Snyder wanted more money to do the Black Freighter live action. It was going to probably be done in similar way that they did 300, where it was a lot of green screen. Mm-hmm. And Warner Brothers said, listen, we're already up to like $130 million for this thing. It's like, we just can't give you more money.
Absolutely fucking not. Even I would have said no at that point too. I'll be honest. Even I would have been like, no, we don't fucking need that.
So they gave him a smaller budget and they animated it, which the animation is acceptable, and it's a comic in the comic, so it works. It being animated anyway, it really does.
Yeah, it does. But one of the few times I'll side with like Hollywood producers, like, no fucking way.
Because I think it was going to cost an extra 20 or 30 million to film the Black Freighter stuff.
Yeah, dude, just fucking finish the film. All right.
He came in on time.
Yeah, no. Zack Snyder's my new god. I'll give you that. But even I would have no.
All right, let's end this.
All right.
Oh my God, the good episode. I liked it. Yes. All right, everybody. As always, thank you for joining us for yet another episode of Moviesucktastic. This is episode 286. Vastly approaching the 300 mark. Probably end up doing that sometime during or right after the Oscars.
Don't jinx it.
No, I mean, it's going to happen sometime in January, February. Or, I'm sorry, February, March, I mean. Anyway, go to our website at Moviesucktastic.com. You can download the show there. You can listen to the show there. You can tune in live with us and watch it either on our website or you can go to YouTube and watch the live stream, because we're doing that now and it's working out really well. You can also go to iTunes and download or listen to the show there as well. You can go to our Facebook page at facebook.com/Moviesucktastic, and everything we post there are usually movie trailers, movie related. When we go live, it's all on there. You can go to our Tumblr page at moviesucktastic.tumblr.com. You can email us at themovieguys@moviesucktastic.com. If you send us an email, we'll read it on the show. You can leave us voicemail, which we will play on the show. The number is 908-514-4470. And you can download the Android app for your smartphone, tablet, whatever Android device you're using. And everything I said is in it. Plus, you can use it to listen to the show as well. And that about does it. Do you have any words of wisdom, Mr. Wilson? What's the matter, sir? Are you okay?
I'm losing you.
You're losing me. Is it because of the music?
It must be, but...
do you have any words of wisdom?
Words of wisdom?
Yes.
Because when you're cool, the sun shines on you 24 hours a day.
All right, everybody. We'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.
Yes, we will.
Oh, yeah.
Because now we are talking hyperspace.
All right, everybody. Bye-bye.